for me, intention and your mindset is probably the most important part of connecting with the phenomenon. And I always try to tell people, like, the mindset you want to get into is like, it's okay to be skeptical as long as you're open to the possibility that, like, something may happen. And then also just don't be quick to, like, give up. Just be open to having an experience, but also don't expect an experience.
Welcome to the Soul Explorers. Today, I'd like to welcome Justin. Justin is the founder of Lights Over Loveland and the host of Beyond the Lights podcast, where he explores the deep connections between UAPs, consciousness evolution, and human spirituality. He's an Air Force veteran and current full-time college student. Justin balances his role as a husband, father, and BMX rider with a profound ongoing journey into the unknown. He is heavily influenced by the work of Robert Monroe and the Gateway Experience. Justin is passionate about uncovering our true human potential and documenting the transformational journeys that change how we see the universe. How did your journey to Lights Over Loveland begin? What drew you to documenting these the phenomenon that you see in the sky?
Yeah. So for me, I didn't believe in any of this stuff up until just it was August 2023 is when I first started experiencing the phenomenon. So I had a very, like, materialism kind of view of reality before that. I didn't really believe in God or anything like that as well. And in about July 2023, there was a bunch of news and information coming about aliens, and they were going to have congressional hearings for the first time in a very long time. And me and my friend used to work together. I used to work with my best friend, so we would just talk all the time about, like, what we were seeing on TikTok and all these kinds of different crazy things. And it all started, I don't remember the exact day, but it was in August, and there was a bunch of stuff coming out about the aliens and UFOs and everything. And I just went home and I was like, well, I'm just going to go outside and look for the UFOs, like, as a
Really?
joke. Like, told my wife, it's like, hey, I'm going to go look at UFOs. And she's like, okay. So I always say jokes on me because here I am a couple years later now. And yeah, it's pretty much become my life. So I went outside and I started seeing these balls of light in the sky that I had no idea what they were. I'd never seen anything moving in the sky like that before. And it set that spark of, like, curiosity off in my mind. I was like, what is this? It's like, are these satellites? Like, what are they? So, being the person that I am, I get very deep into things when I get into it. So, I was just going out every single night. I was trying to document everything I could. And I did that pretty much every single night. And then in May 4th, 2024, I saw this triangle formation of orbs in the sky. It was three of them in a formation, and there's another one off to the side, and they were all locked in together. And I witnessed this incredible thing fly across the sky. And luckily, I had some night vision binoculars I'd purchased off Amazon to, like, help me document, because cell phones are not great for trying to video this kind of stuff. And I just so happened to record and document that. But when I had that experience, that's what cemented in the knowing for myself that this isn't something man made. And truly have no idea what this is. And that's what, like, started the deep dive into learning about the phenomenon. Discovering Chris Bledsoe really helped bridge the gap too, because before that, it was all nuts and bolts and aliens from outer space, and I didn't have the spiritual side to, like, analyze the phenomenon through. So I found Chris Bledsoe and his book UFO of God. Actually, my friend found it first, and he's like, "Dude, you have to read this." And once I read it, like, so much of it just resonated and made so much more sense than all the other stuff in UFO land. Like, there's a lot of, like, evil and dark stuff out there, I feel like. And Chris is just saying it all comes back to love and connecting with like a divine essence that's up in the sky.
Yeah.
And yeah, so discovering Chris, I just started learning more, and then I found out about his son Ryan Bledsoe and Bledsoe Said So, which really started to open me up and learn about these different esoteric teachings and religions and things that I had never looked into. So growing up, my family was Catholic. We weren't like super religious, but we'd go to Catholic mass. And I remember as a kid just going to church, and like it never made sense to me. Like, why is God gonna punish you? Isn't God supposed to love you no matter what? And as a child, I just decided like this is the God I'm being taught about. If this is what God is, then I'm just gonna choose not to believe in God because it just didn't make sense. So I just kind of stuck with those beliefs going through life. And yeah, so discovering the spiritual side of the phenomenon has brought me to that connection with God, or whatever you want to call it, because God is still just like a hard word
Mhm.
to get around if you have any trauma or anything like that. But it's just that ineffable divine presence energy. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but
Yeah.
it brought me to that.
Yeah. So when you are out, well, so that first time you saw the triangular shape, had you already
Mhm.
discovered Chris and Chris's and the book UFO of God?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so let's see. I started seeing the orbs in August. I think my friend read UFO God in December of
Okay.
2023. And then I think I finally read it in January or February 2024. So it was just a couple months after I read his book and like got into it. That's when I experienced the triangle.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's
Yeah.
like a testament to it's like it opened you up a little bit
Hmm.
because that's how like I also explained my experience as after reading the book. I wasn't out there looking all the time, but I just happened to see them like, "Oh, wow, there they are."
Yeah.
What was your wife's how did your wife, did you run in the house like, "Honey, honey, like, this is what
Oh,
I see."
yeah.
What was her reaction to all that?
Yeah. I'll go into a couple different parts. So like
Mhm.
when I first started going out and I told her like I saw things in the sky, she's like, "Yeah, okay." But like, yeah, my I was super excited about it. I was like going
Mhm.
in the house like, "You like there's these things up in the sky, like come look at them with me." And um she has gone out with me a few times and she's seen some things through the sky,
Mhm.
but she keeps that very skeptical mindset. Um so I don't know if she just thought they were satellites or whatever. And then when the triangle happened, that one was insane. So I can go a little bit more into that
Mhm.
experience. I was skywatching like I'd been doing every night for months before that, and I was looking southeast, which would be pointing towards like Denver and DIA and everything like that.
Mhm.
And this is the only experience I've ever heard a sound, but I heard the craziest noise. But I always laugh every time I make it because it's just ridiculous. But the best way I can describe it is like one of those metal spring door stops, and then
Oh,
like add electricity to it is basically what it sounded like. So
like over and over, like a boing,
yeah, it was like a
boing with like
joing kind of like noise. Yeah.
wow.
But so I heard that up to my left, which would have been more like northeast.
Mhm.
And right when I heard that, like I had my binoculars, I'm always had my finger ready to record. And once I heard that, I looked up and that's when I saw that triangle, and it was like directly above my house. Like I don't know how high up it was because it's really hard to judge perspective.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was directly over my house.
Did you
And if
continue to hear that noise as it
no,
was directly
I
it
just
kinda
heard the
stopped?
noise initially, which got my attention to look, and then I didn't hear the noise anymore. So I don't know if that was them like trying to get my attention or if that's
Yeah.
the noise that whatever propulsion system they have or whatever like got them there. I'm not sure. Um, so I hit record and I tracked it flying very quickly north over the top of my house. And like the video, I think, is only 18 seconds. So it was a very quick experience and everything like that. But I mean, I can feel it right now. Every time I talk about it, my heart was pounding like crazy. My adrenaline was going crazy. And I just came bursting into the house, like, had to tell my wife, like, you will not believe what I just saw. And then, like, I had video to show her and everything too, but she still didn't experience it like I did. So she still stayed like skeptical of all that. Um, but yeah, that experience was very intense. And I will say, I think like the last couple months, she's coming around more
Mm.
into being open minded about a lot of the stuff. Like she's really skeptical about all the different things I dive into, but I think she's really starting to see like, oh, okay, maybe he's not as crazy as I thought. Like there is a lot of
Yeah.
like stuff to support these different things. And then it's funny, like her coworkers, like she'll say something about like how I'm doing a podcast or whatever, and realize that her coworkers are also like into spirituality and these different things. So I
Oh.
think it's like cracking the door in her mind, so she's becoming more like open and accepting
Okay.
of these things. But
And she
yeah.
has to be seeing a change and a transition in you,
Oh
not
yeah,
maybe,
definitely.
not just with seeing things in the sky, but
Mhm.
spiritually, I'm
Yeah.
sure everything is changing. Positivity, gratitude, things like that as well.
Yeah.
Would you say that this has opened you up more spiritually then?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um so at the same time, I had like a combination of things happen when I started seeing the orbs too. So me and my friend also found out about the Monroe Institute
Mm.
and started learning about the Monroe Institute. And at first I was just like brushing it off. I was like, it just sounds like some college. Like, I don't know what it is. It took me a while to like look into it.
College
Um
for the mystics.
yeah. And then you look into it and you're like, wait, what are they doing here? They're studying human consciousness and then like getting to different levels of awareness and all these different crazy things. And that got me really fascinated. So then I've got all of Robert Monroe's books, started
Mm.
reading all of his books, and then learning about the Monroe Institute, and then learning about like finding out later there's declassified CAA documents on the what Project Gateway, where they're
Yes.
basically using the gateway experience to figure out how our reality works. And I think they learned a lot, and I think they classified a lot of those answers, sadly. But
Mhm.
yeah, so I'm the kind of person that when I find evidence that compelling, like our own military was pouring millions of dollars into studying this, like I'm going to look into it and realize that there's a lot there when you start getting into it.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
I could say then you're probably planning at some point to go to
Yeah.
Monroe, to
Yeah.
campus, yeah.
I really want to. I'm trying to figure out how to make it happen financially, but
Yeah, me too.
I'm working on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
like, some people say, "Oh, it's so expensive," but it's really not when you break it all down,
Yeah.
6 days, you all the food's included, things like that,
Yeah.
and the experience that you get with it, from people that I know is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just also hard, like, since I am like a parent, I have two children, like trying
Mhm.
to juggle all their schedules and routine and everything. Like I do
Yeah,
school pickups and all that. So trying to figure out how I can take a week off to be able to do that
it's
is
true.
probably the most challenging part. But
Yeah. Just know that when it's meant to be, it'll happen. It'll
oh
all
yeah, for sure.
all come together, but it's all that divine timing while sky watching.
Hmm.
Let's talk about, like, intention and, like, our frequency. Do you find when you're sky watching that the state that you're in, the intentions that you have, and our human consciousness actually plays a role in either interaction or I guess, like, interaction, yeah. Do you
Yeah,
find that? Have you been seeing that parallel?
I definitely find that.
Yeah.
For me, intention and your mindset is probably the most important part of connecting with the phenomenon. And I always try to tell people like the mindset you want to get into is like it's okay to be skeptical. as long as you're open to the possibility that like something may happen. And then also just don't be quick to one, like give up. A lot of people only go out and skywatch for a short amount of time and they're like, I didn't see anything, this isn't real, and then just kind of like blow off the whole thing. Um, yeah, so just be open to having an experience, but also don't expect an experience. A lot of people, I'll get messages where there's like, I'm just trying and trying and trying, and I really want to see it. And I think the more you want something, like what I've learned through manifestation, like the more you want something, the more you're kind of like putting resistance between
Yep.
you and that thing. So like the mindset you want to get into is open, but not expecting anything. Like most of the time I just go out, I'll say like a little prayer and I'll just go through like the things I'm grateful for and then I'll ask like if it be your will, I would love to see like these beautiful lights that you have flying
Mm,
across the sky, or I'd love to be able to see something I can document and share with mankind to like help spread the message that you're real, you're out there. And yeah, I always try to start like a conversation, I guess, when I'm out
mhm.
there too. Like I'm
Yeah.
inviting whatever intelligence is out there to connect if they want to.
Do you find it more like a meditative state that you kinda get into as well?
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
think, yeah.
When you're out watching the sky and it's very calming, it's
Mhm.
quiet, and I think it's natural to get into that state too.
Like it is very meditative. And I think when people hear the word meditation, they have like this very particular image in their head, as with a lot of these words. But there's different ways to meditate, even when you're in like your waking consciousness doing stuff. So I don't know, like if I just have a lot of experience in this because like I love BMX and action sports and everything like that. And when you're doing these things, you are very much fully focused on one thing and like in the flow state. Because if I make one wrong move when I'm doing a 10-foot dirt jump, I could have a very bad time, knock myself out, break a bone, and, anything like that. So I think learning how to get into the flow state is really important in this as well. And I think it also helps you open up to being able to experience the phenomenon.
Yeah, I completely agree. Have you ever gone through a period of doubt or questioning yourself,
Oh, yeah.
seeing things in the sky and yeah.
Yeah. I go through that. It seems kind of regularly because like during the winter time, it's hard to motivate myself to go out and skywatch when it's
Mhm,
really cold outside. So I actually haven't been skywatching a whole lot recently. And then the last time I went out, like I use tools as well when I go out to skywatch. So I have
mhm,
an app called Orbi Track, and there's also a website you can go to, Heavens Above, which will tell you all the satellites and when they're going to be visible at what times. So I usually try to go skywatch after that, so I don't have to
mhm,
really worry about that. But the
mhm,
last time I went out, it was like right in that like perfect time, I guess, when all the satellites were going by, and I just saw like
mhm,
so many lights, and I was like I don't feel the normal connection like I do or whatever. And then I pulled out my phone, and I was just like, okay, these are all satellites. Like it was able to show me.
mhm,
And then it's just like that lingering in the back of your head will just come in
mhm.
and be like, well, maybe everything you've seen as a satellite. And then you have to like constantly remind yourself, even though you've experienced all this craziness and documented it. And I have some insane videos that are clearly like phenomenon that you can't explain. But
I'll tell you
even,
one thing, that
yeah,
triangle
yeah,
is not a satellite.
no,
Those
yeah,
are not satellites,
yeah.
and I've watched a lot of your videos. Those are not satellites. So
Yeah.
right there, yeah, yeah.
But it's yeah, it's just like that weird, I don't know if it's like the old version of like me or the ego or whatever it is, but it like tries to creep in all the time and you just kind of have to like, no, I know what I know, like, and just trust that, like, because a lot of people think that this is crazy. Like
Mhm,
I fully get that. And I always have to like preload my conversations like when I talk to people. Like I was talking to this kid in class the other day and he was actually asking me, what my major was, and I was telling them that I'm about to switch to a business major so I can learn more about how to like run lights over Loveland and everything. And I was like, so this is where it gets weird and out there, but I document UFOs in the sky and like
What was
so
his
like
reaction?
at first like they're always just kind of shocked. And then I kind of like go into like the more like what's the
Okay.
deeper reasoning. Like I'm fascinated by consciousness. Like I want to learn about consciousness, and really I wanted to go back to school to like try to figure out a way if I can study, but I don't want to be a psychologist. I don't want to
Right.
do like those certain types of things. So yeah, so I'll tell them like I'm trying to study consciousness through the phenomenon and these different modalities such as meditation, these psychic abilities that are seem to be coming out in like full force right now. And once I told him like that stuff, he's like, "Oh, that's actually like pretty cool. Like that's
Mhm.
awesome." Um, but yeah, I always the fear is always there, and the doubt, and you're always just trying to like push it aside and
Yep.
like stay on the path that you're on.
It's okay to be a healthy skeptic. And
Yeah.
it keeps us grounded. It definitely does.
Mhm.
If I thought if I had no skepticism at all, might be off the rails, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not, but it's healthy. Don't ever discount that. It's healthy to be that way, but also
Mhm.
stay to your true self as well, and know that what you've seen and what you've experienced is the truth. It's your
Yeah.
truth. Yeah. Yeah.
Which actually,
Mhm.
real quick about that.
Mhm.
So, last year, this kind of all fell into place too. So this is like how I know I'm supposed to be doing this as well. So there's this couple on TikTok who had messaged me, and they're like, "Hey, we have this ranch out in Nunn, Colorado, and we'd love to like have you come out and do Skywatch events." So last year we had our first ever Skywatch events, and I didn't have to plan anything. Like they picked the date, they told me when to be there, they told me just like you show up and we're good to go. Um, and what I got to experience last year, we had 3 different events out there. I got to see and record some like crazy phenomenon, some of the craziest things I've seen, and it was live with like 10 to 12 other people too, which is really cool.
Did you do
But
live on TikTok? Is that what you did?
no, just like like live in person with
In
like a
person, okay.
group of
Mhm.
people
Oh, with
being there. Just
people there.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Um, but like we're about to do more events this year as well. So I'm trying to be able to like the people who are skeptical and all that. If you live in northern Colorado, like we're getting a group of people together and we are going out and trying to make contact and document what we can see. And oh, last year I was able to document a lot of very strange things and share that with everyone. So yeah, I'm looking forward to opening more people's minds, like
Good.
live and in person and everything like that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick too, because we are
Yeah,
going to have one just in like a couple weeks. So yeah,
great. Oh my god,
yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, have you
yeah,
put any information out about that yet? Do you have a date set in stone?
yeah. I'm not sure when this episode is going to come out,
Mhm.
but the Skywatch is going to be March 14th.
Okay,
But we will have more events after that as well. So like
okay.
if you hear this afterwards, like
Yeah,
just
most likely.
check out
Mhm.
my stuff, and yeah, I'm going to be talking about and promoting events moving forward. So
And I'll have all of Justin's information in the description here, so,
awesome.
you can check all that out.
That-
That's great. I love that you're doing that. And
mhm.
it I almost said it takes balls, but it does, to put yourself out there that much to say, "Hey, if you" I don't know if you're saying necessarily like, "Skeptics come," but if
Mhm.
you're on the fence, just come and even if you're skeptical, come with an open mind and see what happens.
Yeah.
How many people came to the first event?
So the first event, we actually had like a decent amount of people that showed. It was probably close to 20 people.
Wow.
And the crazy thing is, and uh, the host, like the owners that own the
Mm.
ranch, he had promoted the event as just like a stargazing event. So like come look through like telescopes at the stars and stuff. So when when the people showed up and we were like telling them like, no, we're seeing like UFOs and connecting and stuff like that, they're like, wait, what? um,
What have I gotten myself into?
yeah, but also the weather was not good at all. Like it
Mhm.
stormed really bad, and it was, I think what needed, I mean, it is what needed to happen, but what that storm forced us to do was it forced us all to, like, we had to seek shelter. Like it started raining,
Mhm.
the wind was blowing like 30 miles per hour and everything. So we all got into us like a smaller area and we just started having conversations and like
That's
getting to know
beautiful.
each other. And like a couple people ended up leaving, but the people who ended up staying and waiting out the storm with us, like it stormed from, I think the Skywatch started at 6. It probably started storming at like 6:30. Like it didn't clear up
Mhm.
until 10 p.m. So we had a lot of time to have conversations. I was teaching people about Chris Bledsoe and the phenomenon and
Mm.
everything like that. And then at 10 o'clock, the skies started clearing up and we started seeing and documenting phenomenon like right away.
And you're
So I
exactly
have,
right. That's like the way
yeah,
it was meant to go down.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then one of the people I was talking to, like teaching them about Chris Bledsoe and everything, like I have this clip that I love, but he comes over and he's so excited. He's just like, dude, like I saw this thing going through the sky, but it was like moving like this. And I was like, oh, it was swimming. And he's like, swimming. I was like, yeah. And then I was tracking this orb flying through the sky. And then I told him, once you see it, you are forever changed. And once I said that, the orb did like a big old bright like flash and it went by. And
God, I love those moments.
that was how the night started off too. So like it was just really cool. But
That is
yeah.
so cool.
Mhm.
So cool, man. Oh my god, and I love
Yeah.
that you're again, that you're doing that and, like, creating a community out there of
Mhm.
people, like, whoever wants to come check this out. You said DIA. So, when you were
Mhm.
talking about the direction of where you were, I
Yeah.
don't I'm not sure. I've heard, Ryan mention DIA too. So, are you guys in proximity to that? And can you go into that
I'm
a little bit?
about probably 50, 60 miles north of there. So I'm not too close to, I'm like
Okay.
an hour away from it.
Okay. All right.
But I
All
do
right.
have Loveland Fort Collins Regional Airport is probably only like a few miles from my
Mhm.
house. So I do see
Yeah.
planes all the time too.
Yeah. Mhm.
And when I first started seeing the phenomenon, actually, it was really normal for me to see orbs around planes. Like I would see basically anytime I saw a plane, all of a sudden, like I would see an orb like pop up next to it.
Yeah,
And
I saw one of your
yeah,
videos last night of that, and I actually saw
mm,
that one other time before. Just one time, but it was very interesting.
yeah, the one with
Very
yeah,
interesting.
the video
Where
that
were,
I
like,
just
they're
posted.
flashing? Yeah, was
That
it the one you
one,
just posted? Yeah.
it was that happened back in September 2024, and
Okay.
like um, I guess like a couple crazy things about that video. Uh, that was the week I got my psionics. So I
Mhm.
had just gotten my new camera, and the way I got the camera was actually someone in the Discord gifted it to me and bought me the camera and the tripod and everything.
That's
So
amazing. Okay,
yeah,
right.
it was absolutely amazing and
Love
I'm
our
so
Omies.
grateful. Yeah.
Love our Omies.
But when I got that camera, like the phenomenon was just going crazy when I first got it. So that night I recorded that orb flying next to the plane, which if you haven't checked out the video, like I would love for you to check it out. Tell me what you think because to me, I have no idea what to say at this point. It starts off with a bright, like couple flashes, and I thought that was a plane because I could hear a plane coming from that direction. I was tracking a different orb. I was like, okay, there's a plane coming. I'm gonna get ready for it to come. And I like look over and I just caught those flashes real quick and I was like, okay, there's the plane. And then all of a sudden there's more flashing. I was like, wait a second, like which one's the plane? So I was looking through my camera. I put my camera down and I looked at it with my eyes and I saw that the plane was on the left side. It looked like a plane really high altitude, like I could see the flashing and everything. And then on the right was an orb. It just looked like a bright star flying next to it. And then as I'm tracking it, like the orb's not flashing or anything, it's just a solid light. All of a sudden, the orb starts flashing, like doing flashes. And then after reviewing my footage, because I didn't even realize at the time, the plane changed its strobing pattern. So it had like a triple flash for the FAA lights. And as it's flying across, then the orb starts flashing. The plane actually changed its flashing frequency. So it was only flashing like 2 times, and then the orb would flash. So it was, to me,
That's so weird.
rewatching it, it almost looks like they are communicating somehow, like through the flashes. So it just, I really don't know what to make of it,
So
like I
weird.
said. But yeah, so I recorded that. And then that same night, I recorded the only orb UFO. I'm not sure what, the only time I've ever recorded something with audio. So I didn't even hear it at the time that happened, but I have a video of me like following these orbs, and I'm just telling them like how grateful I am. And I said it'd be really cool if I could like see a craft. And I said, but no matter what happens, I'm grateful. And right when I said I'm grateful, like something shows up in the middle of the sky and it shoots downwards like in a spiral. And you can hear it make a noise when it does that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But I didn't hear it audibly like at the time. I only found it later when I was reviewing the footage. I was like, what is that thing and why is it making a noise? Yeah, so just some really strange things that I've been able to document. It is really rare to like see those strange things though, I will say
Okay.
too. Because I went out every single night and it was like maybe once every 3 months or so, that's when I'd get like something really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be at that the right place at the right time too
Yeah.
is, that's another thing I think about, like, at this moment, this just happened. You know,
Yeah.
I just happened to be looking in that direction or whatever. You just got a new
Mm.
camera. What
Yes.
type of camera are you using now? And have you been able to, get a lot better footage?
So I just got my new camera back in December, but I bought the Sony Alpha A7S II,
Okay.
which is like a mirrorless DSLR camera. It was top of the line in 2015, so I bought a used one for about 800, and then I got the Tamron lens. It's I think
Mhm.
28 millimeter to 75 millimeter, but it has f 2.8 aperture for the lens, so it's made to pick up low light conditions.
Okay.
Um, but actually, like the crazy thing about getting my new camera too, um, not so much in the orbs aspect, but it was like a very clear manifestation for me. Like I had quit my job back in July to become a full time student, and I had already received like my final check and everything like that. And then 2 months after I quit, uh, I was looking at new cameras. I was like trying to figure out what I wanted. My boss just sent me a text and was like, "Hey, we have a check for you. Like, just tell like." What do you want to do with it? It was from like a pension fund that they apparently started that I had no idea. So I was like,
Well,
okay, well, I'm just going to take that now. So you can just send that to me. And went ahead and bought my camera. I bought everything I wanted. I got the camera, the lens, I bought a cage, microphone, like everything that I could use for, because I use it for sky watching. Using it right now, actually. I
are
use
you?
it for
Okay.
my BMX stuff, like all that kind of stuff. So I spent, I think it was like $1,999 and some odd cents or whatever. And the check I got was for 2000 and like some cents. Like, so
Oh
it was like
my God.
the perfect amount for what I had just spent on my camera and everything. So
Yep.
I just, yeah, it was just like very clear, like, yep, you're going to get this camera. But
Yep, it gives me chills. It's yep, that's what you were meant to do with it, and you were
yeah,
meant to have that because
yeah.
this is what you're meant to be doing.
And then just I decided to get this camera actually because the psionics is great. Like I love it, and being infrared is really nice. Being able to see things,
And the
but I
price
didn't.
point, like, you can't
The
really
price,
beat that
yeah,
either, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's like 500 versus I spent 2000. So
right.
Yeah.
It's a great
Um,
beginner thing. Yeah.
yeah. But you can't focus the psionics camera very well. So a lot of the things you're recording just look like an orb. Like even if you're looking at a plane or whatever, the only way you can tell is those very distinct flashing patterns. But so I wanted to get something that I could focus and get like better detail on my videos. And I actually had people like comment on my videos and it's like, why don't you get this camera and this setup? Like this is way better than what you're using. Um, so I guess they helped start the manifestation for me because they put that
I
out.
was thinking that. Yep.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So I ended up getting this camera and I've recorded a few things so far. It does have a bit more of like a learning curve
Yeah.
versus the psionics. Just trying to figure out how to get all the settings really dialed in. And then this is just like a normal camera too. It's not infrared or full spectrum or anything.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like I've got it pretty dialed in now, which I'm really excited about because we're gonna
Good.
have our event in like a week or so. So I should hopefully be able to record whatever we see in a lot better detail. And the nice thing is I'll have multiple cameras too. So like I can
Oh,
have my
good.
sonics covering one area of the sky. I can have this one covering another area of the sky. And yeah, hopefully I'll just be able to record some footage that will, open people's minds up to the fact
Absolutely.
that this is going on.
Absolutely. Good for you. That's a
Mhm.
great story. I love that.
Yeah.
Just those little synchronistic moments where
Yeah.
it was
Mhm.
meant to be. And then what you said too about how people were throwing that camera out at you. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
just
Yeah.
it's all little messages, all little
Mhm.
messages. So let's go back to out of body experiences. I do remember when you were on that journey of um, trying to find different things to listen to or to get
Mhm.
yourself to go out of that out of body state. What led you to want to try to go out of body? And were you ever successful? Have you ever been able to do it?
So this kind of goes back to like when my journey started back in
Mhm.
August 2023. I was going to go into, I just remember, um, multiple things happened at the same time. So I started seeing the orbs. I also found meditation. So I never really meditated before that. And like I said, it also brought me to Robert Monroe and learning about the Monroe Institute and everything like that. And reading Robert Monroe's books and hearing about all of his wonderful journeys out of body, exploring all these different focus levels and basically different dimensions and interacting with all these different beings and everything like that made me really like curious. I'm like, okay, I got to know, is this real? And me and my friend, like I said, I used to work with my best friend, so we would just talk about this all the time. And luckily, like we were both very deep into learning about all this stuff and meditation, which was nice because we had someone to like keep us in check and keep
Yes.
up with it and everything.
And compare
Um,
stories and things. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, so we started learning about Robert Monroe, and I ended up going on Reddit and I found someone had posted the gateway tapes. So I was able to download them and I started practicing them and listening to them every day. And really with the intention of like getting to the out of body state. So I started doing the Monroe meditations every day for months on end. It was probably like 8 or 9 months. I was doing
Wow.
them like every day. And really I didn't have a whole lot of like profound things happen. Like for me, like I can't remember what the word is, but like my imagination, like I have a hard time picturing things. It's just like very
Yeah.
dark or um
Aphantasia, I think is what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So most meditations I do, I'm just sitting in this darkness and just like being present and aware and just letting whatever information come to me. And every once in a while, I'll kind of get like a little like diffuse kind of like blob of light, like either like white or blue. And so I was doing these meditations, and me and my friend were trying like everything we could to go out of body. We are getting different books. We are reading books by William Buellman, who teaches a lot of techniques and methods for getting out of body. We just really trying to figure out, okay, maybe it's just we don't know which technique, so we're just trying all these different techniques. And now knowing what I know now, it was we wanted it too bad. We were creating that like resistance that we couldn't do it. And it was October of 2024. Um, my friend and I were at work. We were talking like normal. It was a Thursday, and I just so happened to not have work the following day. Like I had an appointment, like, or I called out of work. I didn't want to go to work that day. Yeah, I don't work anymore. I don't care. Yeah, so
That's
I
right. Who
called out.
cares?
Yeah, but I knew I was going to be calling out. It was also going to be payday, so like I had like no money concerns, anything like that. And then my friend had just found this new meditation on YouTube for Beginner's Guide to Astral Projection by Unlock Your Life on YouTube. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. And he's like, I've just found this new meditation I want to try out, because we were trying the technique of going to bed, waking up at 3 a.m., and then like going into the meditation, since that's like your highest likelihood
Mhm.
to go out of body. And so he told me about this, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I just stashed that away. I was like, I'll have to try it sometime. And that night when I went to bed, like I was excited because I wasn't going to work. I decided I was going to go hiking. It was payday. And then all of a sudden I just woke up at 3 a.m. And I was like, oh, well, he just told me about this meditation. Like I'll just throw it on and see how it goes. And I went through that meditation, and I stayed like lucid through pretty like the whole thing. And as soon as the meditation was over, I got the crazy like vibrations like going through my whole body. And they lasted for probably like 10 seconds or 10, 15 seconds. I'm not sure. And I was just did my best to stay calm, because I had been reading the books and like learning about the different kind of like sensations you can experience and stuff like that. And I ended up going through that cycle of vibrations probably like 3 or so times. I can't remember exactly. I did document all these
Mhm.
experiences like immediately after they happened. So
Yeah, I love that you
I
do that.
yeah, because I was like,
On
I'm gonna
video, yeah.
forget the detail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I went through those vibrations a couple times, and then all of a sudden I could see my ceiling fan, like through my eyelids. I could see my ceiling fan going, and I was like, I can see. And then like I just literally just like sat up and floated like up towards the ceiling fan. I was like, I'm getting close to that thing. I don't want to do that. And then like just looked at the ground, and all of a sudden I was at the ground. But the crazy thing was I did this in my bedroom, and we have a window over to the left, and like directly in front of our bed we have our bathroom door and our closet door, and we have curtains on the window. For some reason, those curtains in the curtain rod, the whole thing was moved and blocking the two doors, and the window was wide open. Like I could see outside, the curtain, like the blinds were open and everything, and it was light outside. So I was like, okay, I want to go to the window. And next thing I'm like at the window, and I'm looking in my backyard, and it was my backyard, but it was like a couple years before, because we had a playset that we got rid of and got a trampoline, and the playset was there. Was really weird. I was like,
Crazy.
yeah.
It is,
It's
it's just
like,
I love these stories, it's so
yeah.
crazy.
I was like, okay, like I want to go to the playset. And then like next thing I knew, like I'm standing at the playset. And I remember like the thing in my head, I was like, if this slide is hard plastic, like this is real, because it felt so real. Like it was the most real, like more real than any dream I've ever experienced. So I ended up going and touching the slide, and it felt just like hard plastic. And I just was like I did it. Like I'm out of body. Yes. Like, um,
What do I do now?
yeah. And I will say, like when I floated up too, like I'd heard the stories, like people look at their body and get so scared that they like
Mhm.
snap back in. So I had the mindset, I'm like, I am not looking whatsoever. So I did not look back to look at myself. Um, Looking back, I kind of wish I did, but uh, yeah, so I was outside in my backyard, touched the slide, and I was like, I gotta go find my friend because like he lives just like a couple of neighborhoods over actually. But instead of trying to just like fly to his house, I tried to think of him. And then this is where I don't know like if I turned into like a lucid dream or like what, but it just like all of a sudden I was in like some underground bunker that I have no idea. It just looked like a empty like an empty hangar kind of like it was just a really long like concrete metal tunnel with like
Mm.
people working in there. Like it was weird. I don't know. So I was there for like what I perceived as like a few minutes, and I was like, okay, I want to go try to find my family. And then I ended up in what I perceived as Lusk, Wyoming, which is in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. We drive through it to visit family in South Dakota. And then it just kind of be like turned into a lucid dream at that point. I feel like it didn't
Hmm.
really, it wasn't things that were happening at that moment in time. Like I'm not sure what it was. So I don't know like my focus maybe wasn't like the greatest when I got out, so it kind of like transitioned or whatever, but
Yeah,
it gets
maybe.
kind
That's
of
interesting.
yeah, it gets
Mhm.
kind of like foggy at that point. And then after that, I just everything goes back to black and I know I'm back in my body and I open my eyes and it was 20 minutes from when the meditation ended to when that time was. So the meditation was like an hour 40 minutes. I started at 3, so it was like 4:40 that should have ended. It was 5 o'clock, like when I woke up. So
Oh,
like all of that happened in the span of like 20 minutes.
interesting.
And then I was so excited when that
Okay.
happened. I was like, I gotta do this again. Like so I went and did my hike and I ended up recording a video like detailing everything I went through. So like if you want to hear exactly what I went
Mhm.
through, I have that video posted because memory is not great. As time goes
No, I
on,
get
like
you.
things start to go away.
That's why it's so
Um
important to document and journal.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So that
important.
night I was like, I'm gonna try this again. Like I set my alarm for 3 a.m. and I woke up, put on the meditation, went through the whole thing again, and immediately went into the vibrations as soon as it ended again. But it only went through one cycle that time. And then I had the most terrifying experience of my life happen after that. So I was laying in my bed and it was in zero gravity mode. So like my feet were kind of propped and my head was propped a little bit. And I just felt extreme movement. And like the best way I can describe it is when you have like a Hot Wheels track with a little motor, you put the
Mhm.
car in it and it just shoots off.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like for me, sliding across the top of my sheets, like feet forwards. I could feel
Whoa.
the strangest sensation, but I could feel the sheets sliding under my fingers. Like I was sliding across, yeah, like a slip
That's
and slide or something.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's like how going back to you touching the slide, that
Mhm.
you can physically feel these things when
Yeah.
you're in that state. Yeah, go ahead. Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
So
this
scary.
point, I'm just like trying to stay calm because I have no idea what the hell is going on.
Mhm.
I felt like I got shot out of a cannon going 100 miles an hour, and I have this like estimate in my head. I got dragged a quarter mile across my sheets. I don't know. That's what it
Wow.
felt like. Yeah. While I was moving, it was all dark. Like it was in complete blackness, and all of a sudden, like the movement stopped and then all of a sudden I was just like in this room and it was just like a normal room. There was nothing in it. It had like dark walls. And I remember there was like a couple people inside this room and I tried to go like interact with them. And I know at one point during this experience, I tried to talk. I can't remember if it was in this part or the next part, but I tried to speak and it came out all like distorted and slow. It was like I couldn't get words out. Um, but there was this door in this room, so I was like, I'm just gonna go through this door. And then this is where it gets like the most out there. I go into this room and it was filled with like a fog or a mist of some sort, probably like 3 feet high. And then above that were two gray alien heads. And then all of a sudden it faded to black. I was like, I'm back in my body, and then
Really?
I got dragged again. Like, yeah. So I went through that whole movement thing again, like crazy, and I'm like freaking out because I don't know what I just experienced. And then this time after the movement, I was inside like a house, like, and there was like a house party going on. I was in the dining room, a kitchen, and there was people gathered having a good time, and there was just mounds of like delicious looking food. Some lady who I'm assuming is like the host, like came up to me. I don't even know how she portrayed this message to me. I don't know if she said it or
Mhm.
telepathic or what, but she's like, "Please enjoy any of the food." So I was like, "Okay." And at this point, I had like just like a couple weeks before that cut out a bunch of things out of my diet, like junk food as a whole was cut out, like everything. And there was a mound of fudge dipped Oreos. And I was like, I want to eat
Yep.
one of these.
Yep.
And I ate it and it tasted exactly like it. And it's the only time in a dream or any experience I've ever been able to taste something. Like usually like I don't ever have like it tasted like I was eating it. Then after that, faded back to black again. I got dragged a third time. And then this is where it gets like really fuzzy. I don't know what happened at that
Mhm.
point. It was just dark that whole time. But I started getting like a really bad like sensation right here. Like I was getting poked by
Like
a
a
needle or
burn?
something.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
like
needle.
really like I don't know if something was being done to me or if it was just like how I was laying down and it had been there for so long that it was starting to hurt because I mean the meditation is an hour 40 minutes and then I'm in
Yeah.
this experience. So I mean, but I just
Interesting.
remember that hurting really bad, and then it was back to black, and I was like, "Okay, I'm back in my body." I opened my eyes, and all of that happened in the span of 20 minutes, just like the night before.
All 3 of
So,
those things
all
happened in
3 of
20
those things,
minutes.
yeah. And then
Yo.
I do have to give, like, a little bit of context. Um, that night before going to bed, I watched The Unsolved Mysteries of Roswell. So
Mhm.
I was just like hearing about gray aliens and everything like that too. So I'm like, I
Could be
don't
that.
know if
Mhm.
it's in my subconscious or like
It could
I
have been a
actually,
mix.
yeah,
It might have been a mix, because
yeah,
again, like, you have to have belief that whatever you're imagining or this experience, it's not all fake. Don't take
yeah,
that as, like, it's all, made up from your subconscious, um, but it could be part of it. Yeah.
yeah,
So cool. Well,
yeah,
terrifying, but cool.
yeah. So once that happened, it put in like a major mental block. Like I was not able to try to go out of body after
Yeah,
that. It was actually even hard to meditate for almost a month after that just because of like that fear that was put in and like I don't know if it was like looking back I'm trying to figure out like why and I'm like is it to try to like slow me down like was I trying to like progress too fast or like what it was but or it's just an obstacle that I need to overcome to
that's what
like
it
it's
is.
something that I need to
Yeah.
face so I can get into like Robert Monroe having all those
That's
adventures
what
out
I'm
of the body or
feeling.
whatever. Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling it is. Um,
Mm,
Something just deep just came to me, and those deep things come and they go so fast.
mm.
But I do think it's an obstacle and it's something that you need to work through because something's bigger on the other side that you need to work to get through. Man, that's crazy. I can't imagine the feeling, having that physical feeling
Yeah,
of
that
sliding across your
yeah.
sheets.
That was the craziest part, just like the physical sensations because it
Man,
felt just like it would if I was doing that in like person. Like if I was sliding across a slip and slide at 100 miles an
yeah.
hour, I imagine it would feel exactly like the sensation I experienced.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so insane. Do you think anything else has changed since that experience? Meaning, um, any openness to psychic abilities or
Mm.
mm, synchronicities? Have you felt that anything has opened from that? Because sometimes that happens when you go into those deep states.
Yeah. Um I know I've experienced like a lot of synchronicities and stuff like that. I don't know if it's because of that experience
Mhm.
or just like that experience opened up because the first experience was so amazing and like it gave me that knowing like I am more than my physical body like
Yeah.
and then the next day to feel the exact opposite like
Yeah.
like that fear of like from so ecstatic to so fearful um but I think it might have been like trying to give me perspective on like yeah, you can do all these things, but there is a lot out there that I'm not aware of. Like who knows what there is to interact with. And I will say like I always do try to put up like protective barriers as well, like doing the gateway experience and you learn how to make your reball and
Mhm. Yes.
protective bubble of light around you and everything like that. Um, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that experience for sure did it or because I still did meditate after that. I just didn't do it at 3 a.m. anymore. I just
Yeah.
went back to like my normal routine.
So you didn't
And
set a reball or anything when you had done
so,
that or gone into these meditations?
like, it's been so long since I've listened to that
Mhm.
meditate. I know it did have like steps to like get you prepared and everything like
Mhm.
that too. Um, but I'm just not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because that
Yeah. No, I
meditation was
getcha.
so long too. It's like an hour and 40 minutes versus like the normal gateway ones I was doing were about 40 minutes or so.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know.
It is
Like that's all.
activating.
Yeah,
That's an activating meditation because I did it after you posted it.
I should go back and try it again now that it's been so long since then and just
Yeah.
see like what happens because I do feel like if I do have a crazy experience like that again, I think I'd be more prepared this time after having already gone through an experience like that. And then like going through all these meditations and like having the knowing that you're more than your body, it's even though it's really hard when like that survival instinct comes up, but
Mhm.
knowing that even when you physically die, like you live on forever. Like
Mhm.
and that's what I really liked about Robert Monroe in his books too, is like you learn that you're immortal. Like nothing can touch you, like the essence of you, that light that's like like puppeteering this body basically,
Yeah.
like that lives on. And then like if you believe in reincarnation, like I've been here multiple times, I've had multiple life experiences and all that too. So it's really
Mhm.
just trying to let go of that fear, but that survival instinct is so strong
Which is
that it
good. We need
yeah.
that, like, we really
Yeah.
do, but in these senses, we're like, "Go away. A
Yeah.
a bear is not coming."
Yeah. Even yeah, that's what it feels like for sure,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Wow. And I so Robert Monroe has really been a big part of
Mhm.
this for you. Like, once
Yeah.
you read his first book?
I have all 3 of his
All
books.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't dove into them, but,
Mm.
Jordan Crowder, he will read pages out of you know Jordan, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. He will read pages in his podcast, and I love when he does that because
Mhm.
it's like story time,
Yeah.
and I don't take a lot of time to sit and read, but I love when he does that, and man, crazy stuff.
Yeah. Like his story a lot too because it
Mhm.
wasn't religious. He did everything he could to make it very, like, scientific. It
Yeah.
happened when he was, like, way later in life too, like, he was, like,
Mhm.
58, I believe, and he was very successful. They were studying frequencies to try to teach people how to learn while they're sleeping and all these different
Mhm.
things before he started having these experiences,
Yeah.
and just the fact that, like, he lived this whole entire life before that experience, and then that just changed him, and he's like I mean, he even says, like, "I was doing this for selfish reasons, like, I thought I
Mm.
was dying at first, I was trying to figure out what's going on, and then figured out, oh, hey, we're all capable of this," and it
Yep,
just
and he had
documented everything he went through.
and then had the ability to and the financial resources and then the
Yeah.
people, I guess he knew, to create. this beautiful institute that
Mhm.
um, helps expand so many people. And it's, yeah, we will be there one day, sir. One day.
Yes.
I know you interviewed Ryan Dabian. Were you into any of the psychic abilities or the human potential piece to this before interviewing Ryan?
So kind of. So I think it was Corey Moo
Hmm.
who went to the Psy Games last
Hmm.
year as well, and she ended up making a video about the Psy Games, and that's actually where like I learned about Ryan. And then crazy, he lives like 40 minutes from me, so so we were actually like able to meet up. We went to the bike park, did some
Mhm.
riding. I've actually gone to his house and did a psychic training with him and stuff
Oh,
now since.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
But before interviewing Ryan and everything, like I knew the stuff was real because of seeing Corey's video at the Psy Games and and then just Dahlia's mind sight thing was like insane and blew my mind
Hmm.
and really opened me up to the fact that like okay, these are real abilities. We all are capable of doing them. And I guess also I'd listened to the telepathy tapes before that as well
Hmm.
too. So like that also
That's
really opened the yeah.
yeah, it
Um
does.
yeah. So anyone who hasn't listened to telepathy tapes, go listen to them.
Do yourself
And
a favor.
they are coming out with a documentary here, I think
Mhm.
hopefully within the next couple months or so.
Yeah.
So that will be really big in showing people like that these things are real. But I knew they were real and just I guess my beliefs have just been more cemented in after like
Mhm.
talking with Ryan and then doing the podcast and having him on my podcast was really mind blowing too because
Mhm.
we didn't talk about any demonstrations or anything beforehand. It was just kind of like spur of the moment in the podcast too. Like I have this clip I've posted that's actually kind of blowing up. I think it has
Mhm.
like 50,000 views now at this point,
Wow.
but he asked me if I had a deck of cards to do like some mindsight stuff was with, and said no. Like shoot, like all I have are these color and shape flashcards. Like I bought these for myself to start training
Mhm.
mindsight and practicing. And he's like, "Oh, perfect." So live on the spot, like had me hold up the flashcard, and he was able to, with eye patches on plus the mindfold, get them 100% correct. And then finding out afterwards that like the first one of the colors was brown, and
Mhm.
he's like, it's like October orange. And then at the end, he's like, it's brown. But he had never trained with brown before or
Mm-mm.
purple, which were some of the colors I pulled on that. So just like,
That's what
uh,
threw him off at the Psy Games too, because I think
yeah,
they were holding black, or it was brown, but he kept saying black or something like
mm,
that. But yeah, yeah,
yeah. So just like seeing him in real time, like process, and I'm just looking at him like,
that's
dude,
cool.
he's got this 100%. Like this is like
Yeah, yeah,
the most accurate way you could describe it if you didn't know like October orange. I was like, yeah, that looks like October orange. And then um one of the ones was a green triangle, and it's so interesting like hearing like the feelings he gets and everything too, because he's just
mhm.
like green Christmas tree. Like it came through as a green Christmas tree. Like
So
so
crazy. He's
yeah.
awesome. He is
Like
awesome.
yeah.
Did he wear his
So
mindfold when he was when you guys were BMXing that day?
he did not. So actually, he had gotten hurt just like the day
Oh,
before.
did he? Okay.
So he took it easy, but yeah, it was really cool to get to hang out with him in person
I
and
love that.
everything. And then, um, yeah, it was like 2 weeks later, I asked him if he wanted to go riding again,
Mhm.
and he's had some podcasts going on or whatever. I was like, or we could do a Skywatch. So he actually invited me over to his house, and we did a Skywatch and recorded some cool things that I also
Mhm.
have clips of. And then we did some like psychic training after that as well. So
That's so cool.
yeah,
Oh, how much fun. And
yeah,
the connection, and that's so
mhm,
cool. I just love all this.
yeah,
Oh my gosh. I love, like I've been
Mhm.
really loving just seeing people's connections, like the human part of all this and how we're connecting so deeply on a deep level, but on that human level too. I think it's why another reason why I love doing this and reaching out to
Mhm.
people and learning about people's stories and getting to know them at a deeper level and learning that we're all so similar but so
Yeah.
different, you know?
Mhm.
We all think we're alone, but we're not. We're all going through this together. So you haven't been to the Psy Games yet. Are you
Mm.
planning on going?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I've bought my plane ticket. I still need to buy my ticket for the Psy Games, but I
Mhm.
am definitely going to be going to the Psy Games this year.
Yay! I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
I'm excited to meet like you and
Mhm,
Corey, all the Omis,
mhm,
plus hopefully you get to meet Chris Bledsoe and
mhm.
like all the
Yep.
different other people that are like in this community and everything. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it should
really
be
excited for
really
it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very, excited to see who else will be there. Now it's just the
Mm,
second year. And then just the community, having
mhm.
our community be together and Chris and the energy in the room's incredible. So I'm so excited that you're gonna make the journey out to North Carolina,
Yep.
to see the Psy Games. All of Justin's information will be in the description,
Mm.
of this episode, and, reach out to him if you're in the Colorado area. What area was that again that you're doing the Skywatches?
So the Skywatches are going to be in Nunn, Colorado, which is
Okay.
really like north. We're probably only like 20, 30 miles from like the Wyoming border when we're out there at the ranch. And then it's a private ranch owned by this really great couple that's completely open to the phenomenon. And they have 88 acres of land.
Wow.
And like they even say every time we're out there, like they felt like they were meant to buy this so they could share it with people and like give back and stuff like that. So
That's
yeah,
amazing. They
yeah.
sound like amazing humans. Well, again, Justin, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.